Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we'll be presenting about new growth of micro-credentials for core competencies in HR management. The people presenting today will be Malcolm, Nima, Cole, Melina, and me, Pavarisa. The agenda that we're going to be covering today is HR planning, LinkedIn learning, micro-credentials, future trends, growth of academic credentials, and effects on employers and universities. First off, we're going to understand HR planning. HR planning involves forecasting future workforce demands, assessing existing workforce, and devising action plans that aligns with the organization's strategic objectives. With micro-credentials in HR management is certifications for specific skills that are required in the specific field. Next off, I'm passing it to Malcolm.
Alrighty, thank you, Pavarisa. LinkedIn Learning is a diverse learning platform which offers digital courses that an individual can complete. Successful completion of each course will reward the individual with a specific micro-credential, which can then be added to the person's resume and used for potential job applications if accepted by the company or firm. LinkedIn Learning is designed and developed by companies such as Google, RBC, and IBM. The current target market for micro-credentials include gig workers, unemployed individuals who are looking to reskill, as well as people who are currently in a job and looking to upskill themselves. Micro-credentials are offered in a variety of forms, including online, face-to-face, and blended. LinkedIn Learning and micro-credentials in general are a great advancement in education, but they do pose some challenges. Firstly, one of the biggest challenges with micro-credentials is the acceptance of them. Many places do not yet accept micro-credentials as valid points on a candidate's resume. The big reason for this is because of how new and diverse the platform is. If we compare a micro-credential to the standard traditional college degree, most employers will choose the degree since it's known and has been the main test of knowledge since education originated. Secondly, micro-credentials are marginally easier for students to cheat, which also restricts the credibility of each micro-credential. In terms of positives, there are many to analyze, including they're very cost-effective. Each course and micro-credential is significantly cheaper than a college education. Another positive is that it's very specific. Each employee can obtain a micro-credential in a very specific field of work. Many believe that micro-credentials are the future of education, and not only will they provide outstanding education to anyone that needs it, but they will also replace and overtake the majority of universities around the world. If LinkedIn Learning and other similar education platforms can overcome the main challenge of credibility, there will not be a need for university education, ultimately resulting in a reduction in university programs as well as students. I'm going to pass it back to Pavarisa now.
Okay, thank you. Next thing is the significance of micro-credentials. In HR management, micro-credentials have gained significant traction of their ability to offer specialized expertise. Think of talent acquisition, performance management, employee relations, and HR analytics, all critical domains where professionals can hone their skills efficiently. However, these rise of micro-credentials isn't without its challenges, ensuring, as Malcolm said, quality and credibility in a flooded market is primary concern. This integration is also in demand of the cultural shift within organizations, fostering a more adaptable approach to talent development. Other than that, the future trends, looking ahead the trajectory of HR planning, in the context of micro-credentials, anticipate continued expansions and diversifications. Expect a broader range of micro-credentials covering and emerging domains like diversity and inclusion, HR technology and change management, advancement in digital badging and credential credentialing. Platform will streamline validation and enhance accessibility for employers and employees. The challenges and opportunities are also the cultural shift, as I said. It's unlikely for HR planning to shift, inquire, and demonstrate HR expertise. It's about navigating challenges and embracing opportunities and ensuring HR management stands the forefront of innovation and excellence talent management for sustainable organizational success. So, in conclusion, as we embrace these opportunities and navigate these challenges, we are evolving the way HR management operates, ensuring a skilled, adaptable HR workforce that integral to our success in the very near future. Next off is I'm passing it to Melina.
Thank you, Bavarisa. So I'm going to talk about where we are going to find the next top talent in the future. The rise of micro-credentials is transforming talent acquisition for HR. Here are some key trends and areas where HR may focus on discovering top talent in the future. HR is likely to leverage digital platforms and online portals that host micro-credentialing programs. These programs facilitate easy access to a global pool of talent, allowing HR to identify individuals with specific in-demand skills. Organizations can partner with universities offering relevant micro-credentials, connect employers with a potential talent pipeline, bridging academia and industry. HR professionals can also use AI-driven tools to analyze data. They can also identify individuals with specific micro-credentials and skill sets aligning with organizational needs. Next. HR can also fund the next talent through internal talent development, which identifies individuals ready for advancement within the organization and suggests them to get micro-credentials. This would foster continuous employee development and create a culture of learning. Stackable and on-demand learning, which aligns with the on-demand learning preferences of a digital age workforce, facilitating incremental qualification building. Micro-credentials, terms scatterable, offer a less intimidating initiation than traditional degrees. I'm gonna pass it to Carl.
Thanks, Melina. Next, I'll be discussing the growth of academic credentials. So the demand for online credentials is on the rise, with growing recognition from stakeholders such as employers, educational institutions, and recognized agencies. This has led to the expansion of academic credentials, including licenses, badges, and certificates. In the United States alone, there are nearly 1 million distinct credentials offered by various providers, spanning post-secondary institutions, mock providers, non-academic entities, and secondary schools. This diversity caters to the evolving needs of learners in today's dynamic educational landscape. Employers' acceptance of online credential has seen a substantial increase, from 40% in 2013 to over 70% in 2021. This trend signifies a shift in perception, with these credentials becoming integral in the eyes of employers seeking skilled individuals. Next slide. While traditional degrees remain relevant, new online credentials are emerging as a more affordable foundation for degree programs. Adult learners from lower income and diverse backgrounds are particularly drawn to short-term online alternatives, such as skills-based credentials offering accessibility to education that may otherwise be challenging. Short-term credentials, constituting 10% of all enrollment in 2018, are expected to grow rapidly even post-pandemic. Corporate partnerships with higher education institutions in designing curriculum for these credentials underscore their increasing importance in the evolving educational landscape. The future of university credentials is characterized by a flexible and modular approach, driven by digital microlearning and the consolidation of courses from various sources. This reflects the growing need for individuals' learning pathways and stronger connection between higher education and the workforce. The expansion of academic credentials, especially obtained online, signifies a profound shift in how we approach learning and skill development. Businesses and a variety of stakeholders are recognized and accepting these credentials as valuable supplements to traditional degrees. I'll now pass it on to Nima. You're muted, Nima.
There are micro-credentials for those of us with busier lives, working 9 to 5 and unable to fully commit in and out of campus. As university is not an affordable route of education, it is commonly recognized as an achievement of knowledge. With the achievement, students are awarded a digital badge or certificate. With these micro-credentials, students have the opportunity to learn topics and learn similar things to those who are in prestigious universities. Micro-credentials are very similar to online courses because they are practically the same thing. The difference is that micro-credentials are sometimes free or paid at a much lower cost. At the moment, there aren't many universities that take micro-credentials from elsewhere over course credits. Although every post-secondary school will not accept them, they are still accepted in many post-secondary institutions across Canada. Micro-credentials give students an advantage that expands their knowledge on a topic they find interesting. As micro-credentials are required for courses, for degrees and programs, with micro-credentials, you can dive in and find an aspect of the program you want to gain skills in. Not only do they add additional skills, but with micro-credentials, you can add them to your resume and stand out. These skills can be utilized in post-secondary education or even for jobs. Micro-credentials prove to the employer or post-secondary institutions that the individual is committed to learning. In an article published by Charlene Letta from Western Virginia University, 95% of employers say that it is a good thing for candidates to obtain micro-credentials. A resume demonstrating an individual's understanding of a field with micro-credentials and a degree will give the applicant an advantage as it shows the level of commitment they have to pursue the career. The same article mentions that micro-credentials are widely accepted in business, marketing, finance, and other areas where things can change quickly. Next, please. To summarize the benefits of micro-credentials, they are affordable, flexible, time efficient, and personalized. These characteristics are extremely important for those looking to expand their skill sets in a specific area or in general. It is also important to note that micro-credentials are used more often to supplement those with degrees as they expand the skill set in an area where one has already had experience learning. Next, please. In conclusion, micro-credentials are a supplementary to a degree. They provide great skills and knowledge that can be applied to work or school. They are convenient, affordable, flexible, time efficient, and personalized. Employers love it as it ensures you are a knowledgeable employee and there's no downsides to continuous learning. Thanks for listening. I just realized there's no conclusion slide.